Hey, good morning. Good afternoon, maybe. Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution 875 on the episode count. Happy Monday morning, back to the work week. Little late. This might be the latest I've ever eat for like a Sunday. Maybe I've probably gone at 9:30 on a Sunday in the past. But the reason I'm late wasn't the coffee maker. The computer did make me a little later. I probably would have been on if my computer worked like it should. Probably would have been on 15 minutes ago. I've already had a cup of coffee. This is cup number 2. Wasn't the coffee maker, wasn't the computer. It was sleeping in, but it was sleeping in because I didn't get home until like 2 a.m. Actually, it was maybe a few minutes after 2 a.m. I can't remember. And I would have got home about 15 minutes sooner if I wasn't speeding and got pulled over on the drive from the airport. I mean, is that, oh my God, it's like, I just want to get home and go to bed. It's 2 a.m. So I get, my flight was delayed. My original flight out was at like 9:19. It was either, that's the great thing about living in Madison. The airport's super small, but we have a lot of tech companies around here. So we have a lot of direct flights. So it's easy to get flights, except the West Coast, it's difficult. But Dallas, direct flight. Phoenix, direct flight. So I've got a direct flight, but the times kind of suck. So it was either like 9 a.m. Sunday morning, and I didn't want to do that, or 9 p.m. And it's like, well, that'll give me another day at Collecticon, and I won't feel too rushed. I hate morning flight. I love morning flights to a destination. I don't like them coming home. I'd rather be a little later. So I chose the 9 p.m. flight. It was delayed an hour. And then we still were delayed like a half an hour. So I didn't think we were even in the air until 10:30, 10:45. It might have been 11 o'clock by the time we were in the air. And then landing was actually pretty smooth and getting through, getting baggage. Didn't have to wait long for baggage. So I'm driving, and from the Madison airport to where I live, it's like rural. It's like all country, basically. Once you get outside the airport, you drive a couple miles through like North Madison. Then I'm out in Westport between Wanakee and Middleton. But there's still a couple stoplights, and there's no traffic at 2 a.m. And of course, I get stopped at red lights with not a tail light or a headlight within 3 miles. I get a freaking red light. And it's like, I just want to get home. So I drive every red light. I'm like impatient. And once it turns green, I'm freaking pedal to the metal till I hit the next red light. So I get through that. I hit the belt line. Man, I'm cruising on the belt. There's no traffic. There's literally no traffic on the belt line. I'm cruising probably 75. I'd have to look at my written warning to see how fast I was going. I was driving so fast, I don't know if it was a city cop, and that probably is Middleton. So it might have been a Dane County sheriff's deputy. But anyway, I saw him sitting in the median. I'm like, son of a bitch, he's going to get me. Sure enough, I slowed down, waited for him to turn on the lights. They came on, and I'm like a mile from my exit, and pull over. And here's the thing, like, I watch like true crime, and like now we have like body cam videos. And so if you're watching like true crime and they were listening or whatever, and they have like body cam footage of like a suspect. Oh, he's acting straight. Listen to the way we dissect it. We like psychoanalyze every little snippet. Oh, he answered that funny. And like as I'm replaying this conversation as I got pulled over for speeding, I'm thinking, you know what? you could dissect. And why did you answer it like that? Because he said, I think the first thing he asked was, do you know why I pulled you over? I sure do. Yes, officer, I was speeding. There's no two ways about it. You got me. So I said, yes, sir, I was speeding. And he goes, where are you coming from? And I said, Dallas. And so that's like not when you're in Madison, Wisconsin, and it's 2 a.m. and you say you're coming from Dallas. I get it. So you could psycho it. Why did he say he was coming from Dallas? He was actually coming from the airport. Why did he say Dallas? Like you can psychoanalyze that stuff and be like, oh, that's fishy. Why would he say Dallas? Because he came from the so that's what I said. I said Dallas, and he goes, the Dells? I said, no, Dallas, Texas. And he goes, so of course, that's a strange answer. Well, are you driving back? And of course, I'm coming from the north. I'm not coming from a direction that you would be driving in from Dallas, Texas. I'm like, oh, no. I flew in. I'm coming from the airport. And he's like, and then he asked a strange question. Well, what did you do? Park there? Well, of course I did. My wife doesn't want to pick me up at 1:30 in the morning from the airport. Of course I parked there. It's cheap parking. It's like $10 a day. Yes, sir. I parked my car there. Of course, I've got like my you've seen photos maybe on Twitter. My SUV looks like the Beverly Hillbillies mobile with just boxes and junk everywhere. So he's like, what's with all this stuff? I'm like, oh, it's mostly cards. He's like, oh, like baseball cards? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like annoyed that it's 2 a.m. and I'm on the side of a highway. I don't want small talk. So I probably was a little short in my answers now with the small talk portion of our pullover for speeding. Oh, I used to collect cards. Of course you did. Everybody did. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I like just kind of like, let's just get to the point. Either give me a ticket, tell me I'm on my way, whatever. I don't care what the result of this ordeal is. You can give me a speeding ticket. I earned it. Or you can be super nice guy and let me off with a warning, which he ended up doing, by the way. But I don't want small talk. Come to the Madison Card Show, May 27th. We can talk cards. 2 a.m. on the side of the Beltline. Not looking forward to any small talk about baseball cards right now. So he's like, so I gave him my license, proof of insurance. Of course, I've got to move shit that's piled up on my front seat. It's down on the floor, so I can't even open my glove compartment. I'm like, shit, can he write me up for like my he didn't even say anything about my mirror being like, you can't see out of my interior rear view mirror because I've got boxes stacked in the back seat, which I'm surprised he didn't. In fact, I almost brought it up, but I didn't want to. Oh yeah, I'm gonna write. Yeah, he could have been a mean cop. Yeah, I'm gonna write you up for that. So I pull the insurance. I'm like, shit, I hope it's updated. It was. So I gave him that. And then I think when I was going for the glove compartment, he said, he goes, you got any Jordan rookies in here? I said, no, I wish. So that was that was my pull. He came back, he put my information in or whatever they do. Comes back, he goes, you caught me on a good night. I'm just going to give you a written warning. He goes, we're trying to crack down on speeding on the Beltline. Then he gave me some numbers. You know me, I'm a numbers guy. So I kind of enjoyed this portion. He goes, we got the average speed down. I got to wondering, like, I wonder, and I didn't want small talk, so I wasn't going to ask at 2 a.m. on the side of the highway, how they calculate like the average speed of vehicles. Like, is it from pulling people over, or is it just from like, is there like a hidden speed gun somewhere? But I guess the average speed, the speed limit on the Beltline, by the way, if you're not familiar with Madison, it's basically like an interstate that goes around the city. But the speed limit's only 55. But most people drive like 90, especially in like 5 p.m. rush hour. If you can. So he said, yeah, it's creeped back up, but now it's like 72 or so. It was 64, I think he said. Now it's 72. And I think I might have been even going faster than that. So, I don't know the officer's name, but thank you. He was a nice guy. I apologize for being short and not wanting to talk about baseball cards. I talked about baseball cards a lot this weekend in Dallas at Collecticon, so I'm going to talk about that. Had a great time. I got some awesome deals. I filled this box yesterday. I filled about a row. Those are all autographs. All autographs. I went in like not this, and this is what happens. I go in, I'm not going to buy anything. And $1,000 later, I've got fresh inventory. That's what happens. Or you go in, I'm going to spend $1,000 and then you don't find anything. So I'll share some of the things I bought. I'll share my experience at Collecticon, the first ever CollecTech Summit, which was on Saturday night. I think it was streamed live, I believe, on the Drip app. So which I don't have, but I'll download it because it might be available free replay. I'm not sure. So I was on the panel with Kerry Williams, American Arbitrage, and Ted Mann from the CEO of Collects was our moderator of the panel. And once it's, I do know that Collects did get some video or got the video or will be getting the video. So they'll be putting it out as well. Whenever I get links of all that stuff, I will share it. So let's go to the chat before we talk about my weekend. Terry's in the house. What's up? Rich says, welcome to the latest. Wait, it's West Coast. Carrie out on the West Coast might even be catching us live this morning. He says he watches. He goes, it's too early, and I totally understand because that's 5 a.m. West Coast when I typically go on. Now it's at a more reasonable 7:30 this morning. But don't get used to it. Back to our regular time tomorrow morning. Let's see. Terry had to interrupt Dr. Jim and Uncle Rich talk. Oh my goodness. Victor's in the house. What's up, Victor? Brian, good morning. I'm not as sleepy. I'm on cup number 2. I got a few hours of sleep. It is raining today. I've got to mow. I've got to make a little short trip tomorrow to pick something up, and then a longer trip on Wednesday, which I'll talk about. That's going to be a fun thing that I've teased about the last few days. That's on Wednesday. And then as this is all happening, I've got to find some time to mow. I should have got that robot lawnmower. Maybe I can wire it up Steel Franks. And then the Midwest premiere is this Friday and Saturday. I'm looking forward to that. I'll have bargain boxes Friday and Saturday at Loves Park, Illinois, which is just outside of Rockford, or actually it kind of is Rockford, at the Indoor Sports Center, same location that the October Midwest premiere was. That's going to be a lot of fun. Friday, I think it starts at 3 on Friday afternoon, goes until 8. There's a trade night Friday night, and then all day Saturday. It's an awesome location. It's on turf, so it's not on hard concrete. So it's a nice, comfortable, cushy floor. There's a bar restaurant that like overlooks the show floor. Super awesome venue. I love it. 210 tables, sold out show. It's going to be a big one. Going to be a fun one. Hope to see you this Friday and or Saturday. Donald Davis in the house. Good morning. Brian Dean, what's up? Steve says I was pulling a 100 card order at 2 a.m. First big order. They ordered at 11 p.m. Pacific, and I have a one-day handling, so needs to ship today. Awesome. Not awesome that you were pulling at 2 a.m., but awesome that you had a nice order come through. Flipping Sports Guy, 100 card. That's awesome. My biggest so far was about 25. Hey, 25 is great too. 100 is a huge order. Those are pretty rare. I don't often get 100. Here's the thing though about 100. It's annoying because I think you can only put like 40 items in your cart on eBay. So it's basically like a split transaction. I think they're trying to fix that. I'm not sure. That's the one downside, but it's I'd much rather have a 100 card order and have it split than the alternative, not having a 100 card order. That's huge. That's an awesome order. Steve asks, how do you pull large orders since eBay does not appear to have a sort by custom SKU feature? I go down the line. So, I imagine as that's interesting because you always want to think a step ahead. If right now I'm at what, 15 boxes? Well, I'm at 15 numbered boxes plus this box isn't numbered, this box isn't numbered, that box isn't, these two. I've got a bunch of boxes. So I don't sort by SKU number. That would be nice though, wouldn't it? If you could like just hammer out all box ones and then all box twos and then all box threes. I basically just start from the top and then go down. It's like this one, there might be one or two in box 15. I'm taking box 15 cards out, 15G. Here's the card. Boom, boom. Going to box one, going to box three. But I understand, especially once you get to, say you have 100 boxes and you've got, 100 cards from 100 boxes. That's why I don't like sport lots. I'd mentioned to Ted, I think in our live stream last week, we didn't even talk about sport. We didn't even get around to that conversation because he wanted to hear my thoughts on sport lots, which I've talked about on here before. I mean, it's probably 2 years ago, but that's why I kind of stopped using sport lots, was because just pulling orders was a big hassle. So I can see that's a great question. And it wouldn't surprise me if in the future they enable something to where we can search by custom SKU. Flipping says they definitely need to fix that. I hate sorting by custom SKU, but then in a multi-quantity order, everything is all over the place. It is. Bargain Boxer. Okay, here we go. What did you think of Kerry? Kerry Williams, American Arbitrage. Dude is freaking awesome. He's a genius. We hit it off. We're like best friends. Hung out all weekend. I learned so much from him. I downloaded, I think, 3 apps, just like in conversation. I'm like, okay, I want to do that. So, I've talked, how long have I talked about, I need to do more videos. I need to do more videos. One of the first steps is actually doing it. And I think Kerry actually brought that up on Saturday night in the panel. So how do you do? You just do it. You just do it. So, I'm going to take that, but I got a lot of tips along the way. Kerry is freaking awesome. So I hopefully, I was talking him into coming out to the National this summer. So hopefully he'll be at the National. He's in our Facebook group. I know he watches in replay. He might be watching live since we're on a more West Coast friendly time. But shout out to Kerry. Thank you we messaged back and forth last night. I learned a ton from him. He's an awesome dude. Had a great time. Flipping Sports Guy says, great question, Boxer. What about our boy Kerry? Dude is cool as hell. Harlan in the house. What's up, Harlan? James says, how was the show? You get your Pokemon? I did not get any Pokemon. But look at James. Look at this. I got, these are all autographs. So that was my Saturday haul. And then my Sunday haul, I was a little concerned because I didn't realize my flight was a late flight until like Saturday evening. Between the show, after Collecticon ended Saturday, went back to the hotel, changed, and just had like an hour to just kind of lay down, watch Sports Center or whatever. And where was I going with this? Oh my God. Here's the sleepiness has hit me. Where was I going with this? I found out my flight was late. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to hang out all day at the Collecticon, which is good. I mean, it's better to have a freaking card show all day to hang out at, as opposed to what am I going to do all day after I check out of the hotel at 10 or 11 a.m. I'm just going to wander aimlessly. So went back to the show, and Superior Sports is where I was hunkered down like the entire weekend. But I thought I looked through all of his baseball autograph boxes on Saturday. So I went back and I went over with Alex. By the way, Alex, so the team I was with, and I was just like hanging out with them, with the guys from Collects, was Ted, David, who runs the social media and the content stuff, and then Alex, who's more on the Car Dealer Pro side, and he is on Twitter, Delco Rips. So Alex and I had breakfast Sunday morning, and then we went over to the show, set up, and he set up. I watched. And he's like, you want to go dig through bargain boxes? Hell yes. So we went over, and I'm like, I'm going to look at football today. I looked through like one box, and I'm like, dude, I just don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know the football market. Now, I would know some. Like, I think Alex pulled a Sean Clifford Bowman U-Chrome auto out of a box, and I'm like, oh, yeah, for that's a total out of a bargain box. Yeah, you can flip that, and I think it is like a $20 card. But I didn't find anything like that I knew. And there were a couple things where I'd look on eBay just to see, is this worth something pulling? I'm sure there was a lot of good stuff in there, but I just don't know the football market. So Bill from Superior Sports, I'm like, do you have any baseball that you didn't have out yesterday? And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, you didn't look through all my baseball yesterday. I'm like, really? He goes, no, I've got like 10 or 12 boxes. He's like, how many did you look through? And I'm like, man, only like 4 or 5. So I spent all day. Like I was like in a hurry to finish the last box because I wanted to get a Powerade in because we were leaving at 4 because I shared an Uber. I'm like, hey, I don't mean to like just kind of to the collects guys. I don't mean to just be like tagging along on everything, but I don't have anything else to do. So can we get like a Uber X or whatever it is and share an Uber? I'll just hang out at the airport. So I'm going to go on a little side tangent here. So I took an Uber on Friday. I think my Uber was like $55 from the airport, from DFW to the convention center. We stay at the Omni, which is right across from the convention center. $55. And I'm like, Jesus, say it's 55 there, say it's 55 back. That's $110. I could have rented a cheap car for that. But then I start thinking, I'm like, you know what? It probably would have cost me, maybe it cost $80 or $90, maybe $100. But then I'm also having to drive. I'm also having to like park. I don't know. I probably have to pay for parking. And then I have to figure out, I'm not very good navigating airports. I always make the wrong turn. So to spend like 10 or $20 more, was I think worth it for the Uber. So back to where was I at? So so the bargain boxes. So I spent all day at Bill's bargain boxes. So actually after Saturday, I messaged some people I'm with somewhere in Dallas, and I'm like, hey, do you know Superior Sports? And somebody said, yeah, he's on my speed dial. So I went back and I'm like, hey, did so-and-so reach you? He's like, oh, so we ended up, we had great conversation even before we knew we had mutual friends. But he even offered, he's like, do you want something to drink? I'm like, I've got some water with me. He's like, we're going to order some pizza. You want some pizza? So Bill is awesome. We exchanged numbers at the end. I hope to see him. I really want to make it back to Dallas in November. It's just, I keep saying it's tentatively planned for November because we'll be, moved in, settled into the new house. The only thing is timing with my card show, the Madison card show, because I don't have my fourth quarter dates yet. So once that is settled, but what are the dates? In fact, it might not even be an issue. And I should probably just book the hotel now anyway. And I know a lot of people are screaming, book your stuff now. Dallas Card Show. DallasCardShow.com. When's that November show? 2023 show schedule. We've got November 2nd through the 5th. That should not be a problem whatsoever because I never do shows on the first weekend. I either do my shows either the third or fourth weekend, and then like Rockford or Janesville typically second or third weekend. So yeah, looks like I should be able. In fact, this week I'd like to at least book my hotel room. I could do flights a little bit later. So yeah, I definitely want to dig through his boxes. I found some great stuff. I'll go through some boxes at the end. We'll just kind of weave in and out of the chat here. So the show was great. A lot of another thing about the show with Pokemon, I went in, and this is why, like, I did not expect to spend the amount of money that I spent, because I didn't expect there to be many sports cards at all. There was more than I expected. There was probably only a dozen sports card dealers, like card dealers. Only one bargain box. I think there were maybe one or two tables that had some stuff, but I saw a dollar box and I saw 91 Donruss in the dollar box. That's an immediate. Now I'm not even looking at your table. So if you have 91 Donruss in your dollar box, there might be others like me that they see that, and that's an immediate turnoff. So Bill Superior Sports was the only one I actually like really shopped at. I mean, I looked just to see what people had, and mostly showcases. So it was not, and I do know that they're looking to add more sports card, like Collecticon is looking to add more sports. So you're asking what was there? So there was Pokemon. It was a big Pokemon show. And I think that's kind of what Collecticon. I have some dealers that I know that are in the Pokemon space, and they have done or do Collecticons. So big on Pokemon, but big on like other stuff, like other games. Like, does TCG like encompass everything? I don't even know what TCG stands for. But it's like all in cut, like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh. There's other like card games that I've never even heard of. There's one that's like based off like marijuana, unique. What else was there? Funko Pops. There was a big poster booth. Like toys, like, and when I talk toys, it's not like vintage toys or anything, not like stuff that I would be interested in, like 80s GI Joes, but like modern stuff. Companies were there. Golden Auctions was there. Heritage Auctions was there. PSA was there. There were some other grading companies that I'd never heard of that were there. What else was in the card space? Jose Canseco was there. In fact, the Pink Power Ranger had like a line a few hundred deep. At the same time, Jose Canseco had 0 people in his line. I wanted to take a picture, but since there was nobody there, I didn't. If anybody's familiar with pro wrestling and the Virgil pick, so if you know wrestling and you're a fan of wrestling, you've probably seen like the meme of Lonely Virgil. Well, you could have taken a picture of Lonely Jose at the Collecticon Saturday, because there was nobody in his line. We went back up, and he did have like 10 people in his line. So I felt better. Like, it's got to be like disappointing that, especially like a guy like Jose Canseco, I can't believe. But it was more tailored to non-sports stuff. I met sports card investor Jeff Wilson, so I introduced myself. Nice to meet him. I met Drew Herndon from Let Me Get That Potograph, and he's on the hobby hotline. Jason Gillespie, Sports Card Machines. He's from here in Wisconsin. He was set up. He was one of the few sports card dealers. And that was, I'm walking down the aisle, just kind of looking, and I see him, and I kind of do a double take, like, and he does the same. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? So it was a good show. Where are we at? Steve says, Red Light 34 in the house. What's happening? Steve says, I think you only need to see outside mirrors like a cargo van. Oh, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect. How come but when I was in high school, I remember this was probably just our local town cop being a dick. He would get on us for having like, in high school, you always have shit on your mirror. And so you can't have that. I think I had like my graduation tassel when I was a senior, like the summer after I graduated. Like, some of the girls had all kinds of shit just hanging off their mirror. They didn't want that. Ed, what's up? Thank you. Good morning to you. Kerry catches the replay and always wishes he can catch it live. Dorky Angler in the house. What's up? Good morning. Somehow I keep refreshing YouTube, waiting for you to get on, and then I get into listing cards and forgot to refresh, so now I'm late. Hey, no worries. We're all late. We're all late today. John says you can set an alert that you're notified when he goes live. James says you get new inventory for the 25-cent boxes. Not this weekend. Well, kind of. I opened some Bowman. I will be putting some Bowman in my boxes. So you're not going to find Drew Jones or Matt Mervis, but I might sneak a few decent. I got to get Kevin Parada. So I did open some Bowman. I picked up. I overpaid at Walmart because I don't think Target was stocked yet on Friday. I had to get like a little travel size toothpaste. So I'm like, so I paid, what'd I pay? $105, $107 for toothpaste because I bought 3 blasters. This was a nice pull. Kevin Parada, numbered out of 75. And then I pulled a sky blue Spencer Jones out of another blaster. My 3rd blaster was pretty weak. But a good rip, a hotel rip on Friday night. So I will, James, this weekend I'll have some Bowman singles. I'll actually have an entire 4-row box of I think I'll have a whole 4-row box of Bowman paper. Probably no firsts. It'll probably just be rookies. But I might sprinkle in. I might make you dig. Find a couple firsts in there. Let's see. Where are we at? And I've also got, I know you're kind of more in the prospecting and modern stuff. I'll have like other stuff from like my Goodwill palette. I filled a couple boxes. John says, how much of your table do you break down between Saturday and Sunday, or do you just cover it up? I don't know. Oh, for me, I'm not going to do any of it. I'll just leave it. It's quarter boxes. So what I'll do, I'll leave it all. I don't even think I'm going to cover it up because it's all locked and everything. And if somebody wants to come in and steal some quarter cards, more power to you. So I won't cover it. I won't break it down. I'll set up on lunchtime Friday. Basically I'll put lids on the boxes. That's all I'll do. But I don't have, like, again, all of my boxes are bargain boxes. I don't have any showcases. I'd do it differently if I had showcases. But for what I have, I'll just leave it all as is, with the exception of putting lids on the tops. Good morning, Herman. You're late as well. Just finished 3 mail day videos. Very cool. Terry says, I just go from the top down also. So when I bulk print labels, they are in the same order. Paul Heath in the house. Flipping Sports Guy says, best friends, ? You're going to make Dave NC Picker jealous. Carries his bestie. Awesome. Let's see. Zach and Porter in the house. What's up? T206 Kid is here. I'll have to watch later. Stuck at the 9 to 5. It's interesting. It's interesting the dynamics of the audience here on the live. If I go on at 7, because we're at 46 live, but it's also, I'm not consistent. And it's like, well, what if you started at 8? Because it seems like around that 8 o'clock hour is when that's when we set the record. I think 94 was the new record. We got 94 in here Thursday or Friday. I can't remember which day. But it's interesting. And now it's like much, much later than normal. A lot of people are at work and, going about their day. It's 10 o'clock on a Monday. So I'm not surprised that we're short of 50 live viewers. Good morning, Cooter. I assume you didn't make it to Buc-ee's. Very sad. No, I did not. The only places, let's see. I think I stopped at 4 places total. The airport, the Omni Hotel, the Fort Worth Convention Center, and the Hilton. I think the Hilton is where the CollecTech Summit was. A couple of the guys, Carrie and David, and I think Alex all went to In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out or Whataburger. I can't remember which one. I think In-N-Out is where they went. But that was at like 11 o'clock on Saturday night after the CollecTech Summit. They had like little small like hamburgers at the CollecTech Summit. So I had some of those. So I was good. And it was 11 o'clock. I'm like, I'm not going to get food at 11 o'clock. I'm good. I'm going to bed. But it was stormed on Saturday night, so I couldn't sleep. Let's see. Did not make it to Buc-ee's. I'll try to make it to Buc-ee's because I will rent a car and I'll have much more time in November when I head out to the Dallas Card Show. John says gas and tolls would have crushed you. Yeah. I didn't even take into consideration the gas and tolls. So even if I got a cheap rental car for like $40 a day, that still would that would have been 120 right there. So yeah, it would have been Uber is the way to go. Uncle Rich says, for those who saw the photo of Bo in his glory yesterday amongst those bargain boxes, that was sent to me, my Mr. Bill. Yes, sir. So Rich made the connection. And Uncle Rich has Bill on speed dial. So thank you for that connection. It was a good time. We had some great conversation Saturday and Sunday. Cooter says driving in DFW area is an experience to say the least. Well worth the Uber. My Uber driver on the way to the hotel on Friday, he goes, yeah, Dallas, they say that Dallas drivers are the second worst in the country behind Miami. And I'm like, I've driven in Miami. I believe that. And he goes, I'm a bad driver, but I'm one of the best of the bad drivers. Like, okay. He was good though, man. He was aggressive. And I like aggressive Uber drivers and taxi drivers. As long as they don't get into an accident that hurts anybody. But he was he was cautiously is that an oxymoron? He was cautiously aggressive. I think that works. Cautiously aggressive. He was a great Uber driver. Gave him a nice tip. Our like to viewer ratio is terrible, says Uncle Rich. 6-39. Now we're at 14-48. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. All that good stuff. You can pay a few dollars more to book a reservation that allows you to cancel 24 hours before your stay. Good morning, Angel Baby Cards. Been itching all weekend for the live cast. Be right back. Need the cup. I need my third cup. This might be my new coffee maker. I think I can get 5 cups. My old one, I could only get 4. This might be a 5 cup of coffee day. Rich, my buddy Rich from Arizona. Rare chance to catch you. Those Mervis pickups are awesome. So let's get into it. So Rich is the man. So I was digging through on Saturday. It's like, I know they're right there. So I'm digging through. Matt Mervis is just super hot right now. And you know me, I don't sell Cubs cards, but I started with Matt Mervis. His market's so hot, I know I can buy these back, in a year or less for much cheaper. So I found this. So what I loved about Bill's boxes is it was a random mix of, there were some like a lot of like those 96 like Donruss signature series, and there was another set that came out like in the mid 90s autograph. So there was a lot of that, but then there was also I even pulled some first Bowman chrome autos from like the last couple of years. There were contenders, and some of these are sneaky good. Like this, Matt Mervis is selling for like $50. So I found one, and I'm like, where there's one, there might be more. And I ended up finding 3 total. I found 2 more yesterday. I found an Andrew Painter. I think it's in my other box. And so the guys that I was with from Collect, they're all from Philly. And I'm like, yeah, I pulled they were talking about Painter on our Uber drive to the airport. And one of the guys was like, yeah, he doesn't have, like, something happened, I think, with his first boat. Like, he didn't sign all of them, or I don't know what it was, but he doesn't have any autos. And I'm like, oh, I pulled out of the bargain box. I pulled one. I think it's like numbered out at like 250 or something. And he's like, really? He's like, that's a huge, that's probably at least a $20 auto. Now he's injured. Right before he got injured in spring training, the Andrew Painter, and it's numbered out of 215 from Elite Extra Edition. One sold right before he got hurt for $80. Now they're in the $20 to $30 range. So I pulled some good stuff. Saturday, I pulled some good stuff, but I pulled a lot of stuff from my own PC. I even developed my own PC as I was digging because there were a lot of autographs of former Cubs players and current Cubs players that I didn't have. And it's like, so I started a little PC of like players from the 2016 World Series team. Now, Travis Wood is a guy that is a pretty highly sought after autograph because he's tough. And I'm like, oh wow, this is a rookie auto of Travis Wood. This is, first I want one for my PC. I ended up pulling like 5 or 6. They sell for about $15. Okay. Drew Smiley, he's having a great year. I'm like, oh, hey, this is good. I got all these for like $250, but I also pulled autographs like these: Brant Brown, Terry Adams, Ray Sanchez. So it's like my $15 sale here just paid for those. Zeke DeVos, I pulled a lot of Cubs autos. Ronnie Cedeno, because a lot of these, it's like, I don't think I have these. This is Matt Clement in a minor league Padres, Las Vegas Stars, but he had some good seasons with the Cubs, so I picked that up. Just Minors, Josh Vitters, again, going into my PC. Lou Montanez, going into my PC. But then I pulled, what I look for, and I want to do a short video, because Carrie and I were talking about this, like some of the stuff I'm looking for. Stubby Clapp, he's got the name, people like go for that. So this could be, I think this could sell easily for $5, if not more, on eBay. And I did the math. So so my net profit on a $5 sale on eBay, including postage, fees, supplies, and 10%. If it sells with a 10% promoted fee, my net profit is like $285 minus the $250 cost of goods sold. It's like 35 cents, which is basically like me selling a $1.50 card. Hopefully you get that promoted fee down, 5%, and you make a few extra pennies. So that's kind of like, if I thought I could sell it for $5, that was the bottom. I did start kind of looking at comps I did more of that on Sunday. And so I was looking, it's like, okay, if there's a bunch of them on eBay for $5, buy it now. I'm probably going to pass on it. Gage Workman, I think he's in Detroit, Stars and Stripes auto. This is numbered out of 399. So I think that's decent. More Cubs. Here's a current Cub that I don't have any autographs of, so this will be in my PC for Tucker Barnhart. Steven Gonsalves played for the Cubs. This is just really cool. It's leather and lumber, numbered out of 99, but it's on like a piece of lumber. So I think that's a really cool autograph. So that'll be in my PC, even though he's not in a Cubs uniform, but it'll be in like a player PC. Now this is a non-Cubs uniform, but since he did pitch for the Cubs, and he's in a Team USA, I will count these. Like Team USA cards, Ty Griffin, I'll count that as a Cubs card. So this is Kyle Ryan. He was a relief pitcher. This is, I think, numbered out of 399. Auto relic. How about this? There were 3 of these Marcus Stroman autos from 2015. These are about $10. I'll save one for my PC. And sell 2. Matt Merton. And then I'm like, oh wow, this is a first Bowman Chrome auto Matt Merton, even though he's in the Red Sox. He was a fan favorite for the Cubs. So those were some of the things that I was looking for. I couldn't turn down a Todd Van Poppel, 91 Upper Deck. I tweeted that, like, how much would that have gone for in the 90s? And then here's a guy that I actually compare Matt Mervis to, because I'm bearish on Matt Mervis. But he's performing better than I expected, which is awesome. I don't want him to be like Brian LaHair. I want him to be a great player. But Brian LaHair, this is actually with Seattle. LaHair, I believe, was an all-star. He only played like 2 seasons, and he was an all-star in one of them, or maybe he played parts of 4 seasons. I don't know. So those were some of the gets. Just trying to find some others. Oh, I pulled a bunch of these, and these sell for $10-$20, no matter who the player is, because my initial thought was, I'm gonna maybe I can spell out like 1 million Cubs. And I pulled a whole bunch, and there's a lot of letters that I can use. So we'll see. Another type of auto that I was pulling was people that are like in the media. Matt Stram, whatever, from Card Life, which, by the way, Collects is going to be on Card Life. I believe this week is when their show airs. So Matt Stram, who's now with the Phillies. So rookie auto, and, he's on TV. So I think that's a good buy for $250. Let's see. Here's another one. His son's an active star. Fernando Tatis Sr. So I'll pull that all day. Red. I don't think those are numbered. No. There's the other Stromans. Bud Smith, Cardinals, pitched a no-hitter for the Cardinals back in, I think, 2001. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking through these, and it's like PC. I think from what I spent on Saturday, it was a lot of PC buys. And so what I bought to flip won't pay for what I spent. But Sunday, I was a little more picky. So Sunday, I was really going for the flip value. So all in all, I think I'll make a slight profit. I'll increase my PC quite a bit at basically a small profit maybe. John says, isn't listing 1991 Donruss on your store for $1.59? It's $1.50. The same as having it in the dollar box. It is, but people that go to card shows don't buy that. People that go to card shows are not looking for the one-off 90 Topps, 90 Donruss. It's completely different segment. Remember, you're at a card show and your audience is a couple hundred, and card show audiences are typically us that are in like actively selling, buying, trading, and consuming hobby content. And how many of us are out buying $1.50 90 Donruss or 91 Fleer cards on eBay? I don't think any of us are. That's the audience that you get at a card show. The audience you get on eBay is the entire world, and there's an audience for that. So it's apples and oranges, or apples and tires. Completely different. Trading card game. Thank you, Dan. Trading card game. TCG. And there's Harlan, there's Steve. Everybody knows what TCG stands for except for me. Trading card games. Yeah, I didn't realize how many trading card. I guess there were some other, like, what else was there? Board game, like the what is it? First role player board games. I don't know. That stuff was there. Not as much of that, but TCG will always be Topps Chewing Gum Company. I think I'm with John on that. Has said it on the back of their cards forever. Flawed Thinker is late. Hey, we're all late this morning. It's okay. Oak Creek was an awesome show. Good to hear. Angel Baby Cards is back. Had to get that coffee. Talking Tatis. Happy to see you made it back safe. Pacific Time members appreciate the late start. And all this time, I've been trying to help Bo with videos and photos. Feeling crushed. So here's Brian, I'm going to tell you why I was inspired by Carrie, because it's very simple. I'm like, videos. I'm like, I don't want to do videos because I don't want to edit. He's like, dude, I do it. I use this app. It's a free app. And this is all I do. So it's very simple. It's very dumbed down. Low Roller still says you went 100 plus. Low Roller is wrong. 94 is the live viewing record on Hobby Evolution. Unless others come forth and say, no, you had 111 one day. We're not going to take Low Roller's word for it. John says, do you get more YouTube revenue from lives or from views? I have no idea. If I did more, I get more. So I get more views. Like, what do we get? Like, I typically throughout a live stream, I get over 100 views. like during the live stream. But some of my videos get like the average Hobby Evolution long form, 600-700 views. So I get more views after the fact than I do during the live stream. Probably Whataburger, which is a 24-hour drive-through. Dan's going to bed. Good night to Dan. At the moment, I'm robbing the joint by buying up all the 90 Impel Marvel. Can't speak. Impel Marvel. That's actually hard. Impel, because when you say Impel, you want to say Marvel. Impel Marvel. Impel Marvel comic stickers. James, 100% excited for running a 50% off sale. Dude, I love the 50% off sales. Ty and I sold over 800 cards in 48 hours. Looks like shipping all day today. Love it. You got it. You do a 50% off sale. It's a huge game changer. What I like doing is just timing it out at various, like, initially I'm like, I'm going to do this every Wednesday to combat my drain of standard envelope. But then if you start doing it on a regular basis, people are just going to wait until Wednesday to buy their cards at half price. And then, your sales suffer. So I just do it at random times. It might be 2 sales in 2 or 3 weeks. It might go 8 weeks before I do a 50% off sale. So I just kind of keep you on your toes. I will tell you, I'm not going to have a 50% off sale for a while because I'm going to be very busy in the next couple weeks. Boston is up there as well. I'm from New York City, and I'm scared in Boston. Angel Baby says, not sure if anybody gets this, but those Prism stickers from the late 80s, early 90s were the predecessor style format for all these Topps Chrome cards. Just thinking out loud, did a deep dive, bit of research on actual sold Ken Griffey Jr. cards on eBay. Turns out all these collectors are fiending for Tiffany, Auto, and Relics. Yeah. SGC was almost nowhere, pivoting to PSA exclusive for submissions. I will say, if you want to resell, PSA is the way to go. No doubt about it. If I was submitting cards to resell, I would do PSA without a doubt. Unless it's vintage and pre-war. And I mean, when I say I should just kind of just stick to pre-war. Because I think, just in my opinion, this is my opinion, PSA, even for vintage, is probably a better resell than SGC. But pre-war, I think it's kind of the same. Rich says, the next time I talk to you, I have a funny Terry Adams. Oh, I would love that because I know Terry. I would love to hear a Terry Adams story. Let's see. And by the way, Terry is a collector. He got into collecting with his son. So Terry is an active collector. John says you can get a shot for Stubby Clap. I'm just going to build in my costs so I can make my profit, and eBay and USPS can make theirs. Business for me in the era. Right on. Rich says Steven Gonsalves is still with the team working out with the rehab. Oh, very cool. I did not realize he was still with the team. So if someone buys the $5 auto as part of a 25%, then you start getting into, you've got to analyze what cards sold. But here's the thing. If somebody came to my store because of that $5 auto, they had to buy 6 other cards, and they may have bought 6 91 Donruss cards or whatever that's been sitting in my store stagnant. So that's kind of a win. So it just depends. If I list 7 autos at $5 a piece and somebody comes in and buys all 7, get 25% off, it wasn't a worthy venture, but that's kind of a risk you have to take. And as I go through, and my hope is some of the bigger wins, like the Matt Mervis $50 cards, the $40 cards, the $20 cards, are a bigger win and help offset some of those $5 autos might drive in traffic. So it's not black and white. No quarter box digging in Dallas. Nope. It was, in fact, his bargain boxes, I almost walked away because they were $5. But then he said, if you buy 10, it's down to 350. It's like, okay. But like, I don't want to spend even 350 for Ray Sanchez. And it's like, that's still, so I'm kind of going through, and the first row I went through, it's like, I'm just not seeing the value. But if I kept digging and I saw the value, and then he's like, if you buy like 200, I'll sell them to you for 250. Like, okay, now we're talking. So I got them down to 250 in auto, which even like a lot of the autos that for my personal collection, normally I wouldn't, like if I saw them in a 250 box, if there were just a few of them, I wouldn't buy them. But if I'm buying in bulk and I can offset it with a $40 or $50 auto and a 20 and all this, then it's worth it. Basically for me, this weekend, what I purchased, I basically wanted to turn a small profit, but basically it was kind of like when this was a hobby for me and a side hustle. Because I didn't go to this show. I mean, the trip was paid for. So I didn't have, outside of like some dinners, my parking, Uber ride on Friday. So I didn't have much out of pocket expense for the whole weekend. So I wasn't planning on buying, but it was more of like a hobby, kind of like a hobby. Back when I was doing it as a side hustle, it's like, this is exactly how I transitioned from side hustle to full time by doing that. Basically, I'm going to pull a bunch of Cubs cards that I want, and then I'm going to pull a bunch of other cards that I think I can resell for profit, which will essentially pay for all of the Cubs cards. So I have my collection at no cost. So that's kind of how I looked at this weekend. Now, I don't look at that. Actually rarely do that. Every once in a while, if I see like, and I don't do it on this type of purchase. Usually it's like a few cards here and there. Like the example a few weeks ago when I was digging through like the 5 stars dollar boxes. And I pulled like 9 cards. 2 of them were Cubs. It's like, okay, to pay for these, I want to sell these 7. Hopefully I can move them fast. And I think I moved 6 of them in 24 hours. And those paid for the 2 Cubs cards that I pulled. Ken says this time works much better for me. Huddle says smash the like button. Thank you. Can you share the apps because I might have them or not? So the main app was InShot. So some of the other apps were just like TikTok. It's like I had TikTok like 3 years ago and it was just mindless. And it was kind of before, when I was on TikTok, it was like before cards. And I'm like, this is like, there's no way cards can be, what can you do on TikTok for cards? Boy, was I wrong. So I've got TikTok and we'll see. I'll try it out. Let's see. Angel Baby cards. It's pronounced Impel. They make Star Trek, Sting, and more, especially the sweet Marvel first gen Prism cards. Let's see. Where are we at? Terry says I'm shipping $1.75 91 Donruss Jose Uribe today. Love it. What do I got going on today? I've made a lot of sales this morning, which is weird for a Monday morning. I just sold. So here's some of my recent sit from like since I started the stream. 92 Fleer Pro Vision, Robin Yount. A 2003 Topps Total, Tim Worrell. And a 1978 Topps Ken Maka. I sold an 85 Topps traded Roy Smalley earlier this morning. An 87 Topps traded Ellis Burks. I'm just cherry picking some random sales here. 88 Donruss, Baseball's Best, Dave Winfield. A 2017 Allen and Ginter, Cameron Maben. Now, I also, and this is something I talked about just in conversation with some of the guys, was I've got to be careful when I say like, oh, look at these sales. I sold this 92 Fleer Robin Yount for $1.50. That Robin Yount's probably been in my eBay store for a year. So it's like, don't go out and just buy a stack of 92 Fleer thinking everything sells on eBay. Eventually everything might sell on eBay. But stuff like 92 Fleer is really slow. It's a slow burn. So don't expect to, see your sell-through rate increase listing 80s and 90s stuff. Let's see. SGC is being carried by the vintage state of the card itself and not so much because they are hard graders. John says vintage market continues in perpetuity. The modern market does not. As I recall, it was a beach to even find the 90 Fleer Uribe back in 2014 and 15. That was fun. I was selling them for like $750 a pop. And this was like, 2014 and 15. It was like a thing. 89 Donruss Alex Madrid was also a thing. Now it's that thing's kind of, I still sell the occasional 90 Fleer Uribe. They go for $1.50. And they sit. Like I used to put 90 Fleer Uribes in my store for $750 and they moved like within days. Now it takes weeks or months to move a 90 Fleer Uribe at $1.50. Fun times. Let's see. Flawed Thinker says, I've been spending more time recently researching cards that are $5 or less and are at least $50 or more in a PSA 10 that have a high gem rate. I then send in multiples to play the numbers game. Love it. And see, that's the thing. There's so many ways to make money in this hobby. And that's an angle that I know works for many people. It's not my lane, but it's a lane that works. And if you want to adapt, and that's definitely a lane that could work. Angel Baby says, to be honest, I had to build an inventory as I do not have any money in Social Security. So I now have to hobby till I drop to pay my bills. Joe Caprino, can't wait to see Bo dancing to the latest trend on TikTok, right? You won't see that. Brian says, I was going to lead you there. Angel Baby says, members advice, you really need to find and buy your favorite card series cap and hat. When I don my Topps or Upper Deck cap, it makes all the difference in the world. Yes, wearing my Cubs hat today. So that was a good time. When I find the link for the replay, I think it was on the Drip app, which I do want to down. There's a lot of there was a lot of tech there was another one like Choosy. I didn't even download it. The room had kind of poor internet reception on Saturday night, so I didn't download any apps Saturday night at the show. But there was like Drip. I just want to check out. That's where the panels were live streamed. The one person that I wanted to meet, I didn't make my way over to introduce myself, was Bobby Hundreds, who was one of the Project 2020 artists, I think. He did the error cards. So I wanted to talk with him. He did his panel was on NFTs, which it was kind of difficult to hear. They also did a casino night at the same time as the panel. So the panel was kind of like the redheaded stepchild in the corner. But it was streamed, and hopefully it'll be up for replay. So when I find that, I'll link that up. I've got to wrap things up because it's 10:30 and I've got a lot of shipping to do. CapCut. Oh, I do have CapCut. I have used CapCut. I've not only have I downloaded it, I have used it. So that was the weekend. Good times. Can't wait. Met a lot of great people. Had a lot of great conversations. Looking forward to seeing the Collects guys again in July. Hoping Carrie can make it to the National in July. That'll be a good show, obviously. So that'll be fun. And then definitely want to make it to Dallas in November for the Dallas Card Show. Harlan says, what's the big Wednesday news? I'm not going to say anything yet. I want to make sure I don't want to just talk out of turn, make sure it's cool. But I've got a deal finalized. And gonna do that transaction on Wednesday. So pretty cool, exciting for me. Very exciting for me. So I'll share after we meet on Wednesday. I can share that. And if I can't if I can't name drop or anything like that, I can kind of beat around the bush. But I think he'll be cool with it. Let's see what else. So yeah, this coming weekend is the Midwest premiere Friday, Saturday show. Loves Park at the Indoor Sports Center, 210 tables, sold out show. I know Ryan from Breakout Cards is coming up for the show. I'll have my bargain boxes, all quarter boxes this weekend. So come see me at basically Rockford. Let's see. I've got a ship today. I'll probably be doing some listing. I don't think I've listed my 2023 Bowman that I got it sorted last week. I listed the Mervis and the Drew Jones. Oh yeah, I'll have to talk to him about that. The England card show. So yeah, that's this Friday and Saturday. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Join the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. I'll drop that in the chat. What's up, Kyle? Good morning to you. Because I don't think I put the Hobby Evolution Facebook group in the description. So if you're not in the Hobby Evolution Facebook group, check it out. We've got some great discussions going on over there. Link is in the chat. With that, I'm out. Have a great Monday. And we'll be back on at the normally scheduled 7 a.m. Central Time tomorrow morning. And let's see, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And yes, I'll be on at 7 a.m. Friday as well, because I won't be heading down until late morning. So until tomorrow, thank you and have a great day.